26 billion devices will be connected to the internet by 2020. 26 billion devices. When I say this number when I'm speaking on stage, people have this sort of blank look. They can't even imagine this number of devices. So let me put it into context for you. So the average household with 2 teenage children will own roughly 50 internet-connected devices by 2022. 50 internet-connected devices. I know you have paper and a pen in front of you, so I ask you to think right now. You may think that's impossible. How could that ever be? But think about it. Think about the smartphone you have in your home, the tablets, the gaming systems, the television, smart appliances, smart locks in your home. All of a sudden, you can see how quickly we can get to this number. And again, it's happening more quickly than any of us can ever imagine. What happens when the new iPhone comes out? People line up for hours waiting to the iPhone. We start using it, but businesses and organizations are a lot slower. But there's a massive impact for every single organization that does not adapt to these new technologies, artificial intelligence included. And if you can think right now of some of the companies that have been slow to adapt, companies that may come to mind might be like Kodak, Blockbuster, Borders, I would even argue to some extent BlackBerry from here in Canada. Those companies were slow to adapt to this new technology around them. It was happening, but they just didn't do anything about it. Now think about a company that has been really good at adapting to this new technology and to these different technical revolutions. And I would argue that one of those companies is Netflix. I lived in San Francisco in the late 1990s when I started my tech career out there at a company called Razorfish. And I remember the early days of Netflix. And if you think about Netflix, their first business model was they were actually shipping you DVDs in the mail that you would get in the mail, you would watch the DVDs, and you would ship them back. For all intents and purposes, Netflix should have failed, but they didn't. This is a company that has been amazing at adapting to new technology all around them, and they continue to do so. Now, what about your organization? How can you plan strategically for this next technical revolution? What can you do today to know that this is coming down the pipeline? And I don't think this is something where Monday morning you need to go into the office and say, oh, we're changing everything. But I think awareness is absolutely key. If you look at what I've just talked about, what could happen in the next 5 years that's going to impact you professionally within your organization? What is going to change because of some of these things? Whether it's because of autonomous vehicles or it's because of what's happening with automation as far as data entry, whatever it might be, the truth is all of us will be impacted by this technology timeline.